Today we're diving into the topic of motivation in sales and how to overcome common bias. My very first question for you would be, how did you actually get into sales in the first place?
Yeah, I actually got into sales out of necessity. As I already mentioned, I've been self-employed for a really long time, and software has always been what I do and where my passion truly lies. And for quite a long time now, we've been developing inventory management systems for businesses looking to manage their warehouses, handle accounting and things like that. And in the beginning, business was really slow to pick up. We had a demo version available online where interested people could sign up, and we ended up getting quite a lot of users signing up who signed up for that demo version. And yeah, the conversion rate was actually quite low, sitting just in the single-digit percentage range. So lots of people were generally interested in the software, but in the end, not much actually came out of it. We really focused on optimizing every possible angle, completely revamped our campaigns, brought in a dedicated agency, and ran through countless different approaches to get it right. And it was only when we truly began focusing on proactive sales that's actually when I came to properly understand the real difference between sales and marketing. That's precisely when things finally started to shift. And not only did the conversion rate rise, that's not the only positive change we saw. But people also noticed that customers suddenly had a whole new connection with our company. So suddenly there was this personal connection with the customers, and in the end, they were truly satisfied and more engaged than before. And even if something went wrong every now and then, you just knew a lot of customers personally, so you could easily talk through most mistakes and find a solution, which meant people weren't actually upset. And that's how it gradually evolved to the point where we didn't just have regular customers, we had real fans. And of course, that made selling much easier, especially when it came to generating repeat business. Word of mouth also saw a noticeable increase because satisfied customers were always quick to recommend the software to others. And if you're unhappy, well, you just don't do it. That was kind of the reason why I eventually thought, okay, I want to look into this topic more closely. I'd really like to dive deeper into it and over time share the knowledge I've gathered along the way with others as well. Yeah, and that's how it eventually evolved. We moved on from being a warehouse management provider to becoming a full-fledged CRM provider offering software for sales and marketing. Yeah, that's where we stand today, and I'm genuinely excited to chat with you about it right now.
When you think of sales or salespeople, you usually picture that one typical sales guy who just keeps chasing after you relentlessly for weeks on end and constantly pushing to sell something you're not even interested in. Honestly, just no interest at all, really. And of course, that raises the question, does sales really still have that reputation, or is it actually completely different from what people imagine?
Well, I'd say selling isn't inherently a bad thing. Basically, it's just about two people connecting. One offers something the other wants, and the other has something, usually money, that the other one wants. And if that product, what person A is offering, is truly interesting or valuable to person B, then they go ahead and make the deal together in a fair way. I think basically there's nothing particularly bad or unusual about it. Sales is really all about effectively promoting and connecting the products someone's offering with the people who need them. Also explaining them clearly and in a way that truly resonates. And when I'm with a customer or a prospect and I present my product and can actually solve a problem the customer has, then I can actually sell them something. Of course, as you say, there are plenty of sales hotshots, as you nicely put it, who tend to exaggerate a bit and are sometimes really annoying when they cold call random people out of the blue to whom the product just isn't a good fit, and then they simply won't leave them in peace anymore. So they call, try to push something onto you, and eventually you're just sitting there thinking, okay, what does he actually want from me? He just wants to sell something so he can make a deal, but honestly, he doesn't care about your problems. And that's what truly sets a top performing salesperson apart from an average one. The top salesperson always takes the time to clearly identify the customer's problem, truly understand their pain, and then thoughtfully use their product to address it in the most effective and customer-focused way possible. And a good salesperson also realizes that this isn't always the case. When I approach a customer and want to offer them my product, but then notice the product simply isn't right for them, then I should really just stop.
Yeah.
Maybe it's better to leave the customer in peace instead. And yeah, of course, there are plenty out there. sales trainers who actually provide coaching on this exact scenario, like when you make a call and then some woman eventually picks up the phone and says, "The boss isn't available. What tricks you can use to get through to the boss anyway?" I've actually had someone call pretending there was a fire in our data center just so they could get connected to me. It's surprising
Okay.
what people come up with when they're determined. And yeah, those are obviously methods. I really can't say what people
Yeah.
picture in their minds when they think of that sort of thing, but I definitely won't be signing up as a customer in the end.
No.
I mean, if the first meeting already starts with a lie, what's it even gonna be like further down the road then? But as I said, sales is basically a good thing. And the main goal is to clearly get that across to the customer in the right way. So if the customer thinks I'm just trying to push something onto them, it simply won't work. But if I manage to win the customer over and I come across as likable and they realize, hey, I really want to help them, sure, I'd like to earn some money from it in the end, I'll definitely send an invoice, of course. But as long as I'm genuinely focused on helping the customer out, they really won't view me in a negative light at all.
Hmm.
And that's really what sales is all about. I'll share with you in just a moment some practical tips on how to achieve exactly that, how to avoid coming across as that overly pushy
Yeah.
salesperson who's always desperate to sell the customer something, but instead, how you can truly sell in a genuine and authentic way, building trust over time and consistently showing the customer that you really value and respect them every step of the way.